a transfer, you need to make sure that you prepare the environment, make sure there's no cords or anything dangerous in the way. You need to prepare your patient. So you need to instruct them on what you're about to do, have them repeat it back to you so you know that you're on the same page and they know what they're doing. And then you also need to prepare yourself and worry about your own body mechanics and make sure you're properly performing the techniques as well. Safety-wise, you need to make sure the patient has proper shoes on. You need to make sure that the wheelchair is locked, there's nothing in the way again. You need to make sure not to hold on to their clothing. You need to make sure you're holding on to the gait belt and not the actual patient.
Okay, so the first transfer we're going to perform is a seated pivot transfer. It's the transfer that causes the caregiver or the physical therapist to do the most work during this, and the patient cannot help as much as some other transfers. In these videos, we're going to use this yellow band on the right leg to show you that that's the leg that is affected and needs the help. So we're going to place the wheelchair on that side of the patient as well. First, we're going to have the patient roll to their side, closest to us. Roll to your side for me. Good. You're going to use this hand to push off the table while we drop your legs here. Sit up. Good. Okay, so that is how the patient should always sit up so that they do not injure their back. Next, we're going to place the gait belt around the patient's waist. Okay, so for this transfer, I'm going to grab onto this belt and you're going to grab onto my arms. On the count of 3, we're going to twist over to this chair, putting most of your weight on this leg, okay? When we get towards the chair, I want you to reach your hands back for those armrests to find the chair. Okay? Ready? I'm going to put my leg right here to block your affected leg. 1, 2, 3. Good.
Okay, in this scenario, we're going to be doing a standing assisted pivot. In this scenario, the patient is able to give a little bit more assistance than they were in the previous scenario. I'm still going to get the patient up as demonstrated before. I'm not going to demonstrate that again. We have the same safety considerations. I'm making sure there are no obstacles in the way of me or the patient. I'm going to use proper body mechanics. I'm going to make sure the wheelchair is locked. They have on shoes with a proper grip for the surface that we're transferring on. And so we're going to get started. So we're going to get you up in your chair today. So place the gait belt around your waist. I'm going to grab onto that gait belt. You can grab onto your arms. And we're going to stand all the way up. And then we're just going to pivot over. You can reach behind you and grab the armrest of the chair as I'm lowering you into the chair. Does that sound okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, you're going to pivot mostly on your shoulder. Okay. There we go. Very good. And that's all.
Okay, for this scenario, what we're going to do is called a standby pivot transfer, and this you only use tactile and verbal cues because the patient is able to get up completely on their own. So what we're going to do, we would get them up the exact same way that we have in the past 2 scenarios, put the gait belt just the same, make sure there's no obstacles, make sure they have the proper footwear for the surface, and make sure the wheelchair is locked and that the patient wouldn't hurt themselves when they go to sit down. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to stand completely up and you're going to sit back into the wheelchair, okay? So alright, so ready? 1, 2, 3. Alright, turn for me, turn for me. Alright, reach back and grab the wheelchair. Alright, good.
Okay, the point of this video was to properly show a caregiver or another therapist the proper ways to get a patient up in transfer. The main goals for transfers are safety and for the patient and yourself, so we wanted to be able to show that. You need to make sure that you mentally prepare yourself and plan the transfer beforehand, and you need to make sure everything's out of the way. You want to do obviously the shortest distance and the least resistive path, so it's the easiest transfer and can minimize anything that could cause harm. I don't know, it's all.